Good morning and welcome in, everyone. I'm Peaceful Nik the Medium. I am here on a Sunday morning to say hello, good morning, happy Sunday. I hope you are all well. I'm going to be answering some questions. We're going to be chatting about mediumship. My QR code, I'm not sure what corner it's in. On my screen, it shows this side, but sometimes it shows up on this side. So there it is. There's the QR code. So let me know when you pop in. I'm just going to do some quick announcements. Having my morning coffee. The lifeblood of a non-morning person. Okay, so I have lots of stuff going on. Monday morning meditation for non-meditators is tomorrow morning around 10 Eastern. This is how we can start our week off right. We always have some type of subject we talk about, and then we go through a short meditation. And it's a wonderful way to get yourself centered, because who likes Mondays, right? Let's change that narrative. And let's start loving Mondays and hello as everyone comes in. And then tomorrow night, Magical Mondays, with myself and Lady Shadow, we're going to be chatting about our podcast that released Friday, the Soul Twin Stars podcast. And in that podcast, we talked about how science proves mediumship is real. And if you're interested in that, and I hope you all are, please listen to it. It's here on YouTube and all other platforms. Again, the Soul Twin Stars podcast. I go into lots of details about different studies and different aspects of how mediumship and science coincide. Whether scientists realize that they're proving it or not, I don't know. I think some do and some don't. And it's a fascinating conversation, and please listen to that. It's here on YouTube and all other platforms. This Wednesday, we welcome Aunt Jen 888. I think she's here in the chat. Yes, she's here. Aunt Jen, if you could type in your screen name for so I can pop it up here, that would be awesome. If you're able to, please subscribe to her channel. We're going to go live. I'm going to introduce Aunt Jen. She's an incredible healer, a wonderful friend. We've been friends for 40 years, and she's a huge part of my life, and you will love to hear her story. And it's incredible. And then the book club, A New Earth, will meet October 11th. I am traveling this next weekend. And the next New Earth Chapter 5 meeting will be October 11th. So that gives everybody a little time to catch up and maybe take a break and absorb some of the heaviness from the book A New Earth, because it is really, really intense. So good morning, Juniper Vale. I'm so glad you're here. Good morning, Aunt Jen. Your work week starts Sundays. Okay, so maybe this will help. So if you could subscribe for free, it's free, for Aunt Jen 888, that would be great. And hi, Mangled Unicorn. Yeah, so I'm not planning on, 100 people showing up this morning. This is kind of a last minute, because I didn't get to do my normal Friday night live stream because I had company come over at the last minute. And so I'm going to just do a surprise pop-up this morning. And Mangled said, I think I had my first download. Okay. I've only heard individual words so far, and I feel all the emotion who I'm reading. Oh, I love that. Hi, Manx girl. Happy Sunday. Mangled, are you taking classes? Are you in a development circle or anything? Let me know. Good morning, Kelly. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to see you guys coming in. So if you have any questions, ask questions. Did I say about my special? I didn't think I did. I have a $49 special going right now. I've had to add several extra dates to that because they're selling like hotcakes. And it's for spiritual guidance and or card readings. And it's a 30-minute reading, and the link is in the show description notes. So, and you could click wherever my QR code is. It looks like it's here, but sometimes it's there. So wherever that is, that QR code is for my website. But I'm just glad you're all here, and I hope you're all having a wonderful morning so far. Mangled said, I took on an Akashic Records reading class. Oh, I love that. Hi, Diane. Good morning and welcome. There's weekly practice, but I'm going through a sudden complicated thing, so I'm breaking right now. Oh, honey. And I got your Mediumship 101 book because of time limitations. Okay. So what she's referring to, for those of you watching live who haven't heard me talk about it, or the replay, this is my 6-month mentorship, learn at your own pace guidebook. You can get it on Amazon for the paperback or on my website for the digital copy. So I'm very sorry that you're going through a very sudden, complicated thing that can really throw a wrench into everything. That happened to me right before my last mediumship class. I had to have a hysterectomy like immediately, and it was messed everything up. I also got a self Reiki attunement book. Good. Yeah, a lot of this stuff you can learn on your own, but I recommend when you get through this complicated thing, and I'm very, very sorry again about it. When you can really learn a lot on your own. But then at some point, when you get to a certain level, when you're okay, you'll probably want to get in some development circles or something like that. But just whenever you're ready, just let me know. I can lead you to different places. So I'm sorry. I can pull you some cards in a minute. I'm a sink or swim kind of Padawan. Yeah. I'm the kind of Padawan that needed somebody to hold my hand through the Jedi training. I had to take I read a couple of books before my classes started, just because I had to wait a couple months for the class to start. But yeah, you can learn a lot on your own. I just needed someone to guide me eventually. Juniper Vale also has the book Sitting in the Power Exercise. Gave me the breakthrough I needed. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, if anybody can learn anything, if they really have a desire to do it. Like if you want to be an airplane mechanic and you really, really have a desire to do it, you could probably read 100 books about it and learn a lot, but you actually will have to eventually work on an airplane, a physical airplane. But you can learn a lot ahead of time. But you have to really want to do it, like being a medium or a psychic or a basket weaver, whatever it is. When you're passionate about it, it seems to come a lot easier. Mangled said, I'm extremely high functioning for my conditions because I had to be. It's all good, just saying. Yeah, I am too. Same. I have several things going on actually, physically, as well. Level up. Let's all do it. Exactly. So, what do you guys want to talk about this morning? I was going to go through some of the points in my mediumship book, Ethics. Why do ethics matter? That's a good one. Sometimes you may see people doing unethical readings, doing unethical practices. I get a lot of people asking me for predictions of things that I'm not going to predict. There are things I won't predict. I won't predict pregnancy outcomes. I won't predict partnerships. I won't predict natural disasters, because we're going to have natural disasters forever. It's going to happen. But there are people who, predict aliens landing or the rapture. Remember the rapture the other day? Did anybody get sucked up in the rapture? But ethics are super important, and it's a huge part of my mediumship practice. There is no governing body in the United States that there's no like mediumship and psychic institution that governs all of them. We're just all kind of on our own, and it can be very scammy out there. And so we have to have a high standard of ethics. And if you are a scammer and you're working unethically, it's not a sustainable way to run your business. And karma is a B word, right? Higher frequencies unite. Exactly. Mangled Unicorn said, adapt and overcome in a world not necessarily built for us. Well, and that's interesting. I see this meme and it talks about how we're so bombarded with so much information constantly, and there's phones and computers and the TV and all this information. And we evolved with Earth before technology. And so our bodies are more attuned to a natural rhythm in nature. That's why when we spend time in nature, all of a sudden we feel better, because we are evolved to be listening to the birds chirping and paying attention to that, or listening to the water trickling by. We're not evolved to constantly be hearing noise from the television or your phone or computer all the time and being bombarded with 24-hour news. Our body is not made for that. So of course our stress levels are high, our cortisol levels are through the roof, and we're getting disease after disease after disease constantly. Plus the emotional toll of all the stress of this world causes so many diseases. And so we have to do our due diligence as humans in this crazy, insane world to center ourselves, to quiet our minds. Say before you wake up in bed, but before you get up out of bed in the morning, when you wake up, say 5 positive things. You've all heard me say it a million times. I always say, I love my bed at first thing. I love spending time with my family. I got to spend some time with my family this weekend. I had a night with some friends last night. I had a great time. I'm grateful for that. So I like to start my day with 5 positive things. I like to listen to birds chirping outside. So I'll open my back sliding door and the screen is there and I can hear the birds. I'll put some bird seed out. I have a pond behind my house. I like to look at the beautiful pond and the trees and the grass, just to not start my day with turning on the news, because the news is always negative, right? So yeah, grounding, shielding, prep work. Yep. Not all are ethical, correct? Tapioca, juniper veil. Question whether trying to manifest a certain person winning an election was ethical, or do we concentrate more of having the best outcome? This is the thing. As far as elections are concerned, there's so many. So there's 380 million people in the United States. And I think about 150 million vote, those are the approximate numbers. That's a lot to try to manifest. But I will say this, the outcome that happens, whether it was, some people think there was some unethical stuff going on around the election because the math ain't mathin' with the most recent election. There's some conspiracy theories about that. But The universe is going to give us what we need. And this may make people mad. And I know we're all in a state of chaos and constant anxiety and worry right now, especially depending on what state you live in. We have the ability to overcome this, and this pendulum swings one way and then the other way, one way and the other way. And I'll say this, the Jimmy Kimmel situation, people are, all in a craze over all of that, right? I don't have to go through the details. If you know, you know. The voices in the boycott of Disney that lost them like a couple $1 billion overnight, apparently, showed them. And then the Sinclair people also put them back on a couple days later. Because when you lose that much money as a company, we're the ones with the power because we're the ones that spend the money. So if we stop spending money and giving them money, we're the ones that are going to overcome it. So, that proves, and it's not about whether Jimmy Kimmel's the best person ever or whether he deserved it. It's not about that. It's about we have more power than we know. And that example of what happened with Jimmy Kimmel's show showed we can make things happen regardless of who's sitting in office, because the person in office is really just right now a figurehead, a distraction. He's sowing chaos. If we keep ourselves centered and keep our heads about us and raise the vibration together as a community, this will allow us to get through it together, and then a better outcome will happen. Because Americans, and especially American women, and this is nothing against men, but American women are really strong, and we've been highly educated. Women are outpacing men in college, I think, 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, like a lot. There's a lot more women in college now than men. And so the women in the United States are getting more and more educated in many different ways. And we are going to save this country because we're strong and we're smart. We can critically think and we can multitask. So the patriarchy actually trained us to be strong and smart and get out of that little box they put us in. So they didn't know they were doing that, but that's what happened. So I don't know ethical, unethical to try to manifest an outcome of an election. Was your intention good? If you had good intentions for the greater good of all, I don't think it was unethical. So that's what I would say. Okay, let's see. Good morning, Debbie. Yes, Mangold said quiet time is important for a reason. Yes, yes, yes. I am not a morning person, never, ever, ever have been. And if somebody tries to start making noise as soon as I get out of bed, I am grumpy. I need coffee and quiet immediately. And Jen said, love the Akashic records, so powerful. Yes, yes, yes. Juniper Vale, I'm stressing a little over our New Jersey gubernatorial election. So I'm taking time to volunteer, but not focusing on it spiritually. Okay. I don't know what's going on in the New Jersey election, but I hope for the best outcome, right? We got to be here together. Hi, Debbie at 3 Shifting Veils. Welcome in. I'm glad to see you here. Mangold said, size, scope, and scale. Our path is based on this. Need different lenses for all things. Yes. Can we pray, meditate, etc., hoping for a particular outcome? Yes. Is that bad? Maybe not, but what is the intention? Yeah, exactly. A liar that believes his truth even though he is lying. Is it the truth? No. But is it that person's truth? Yes. Maybe, but yes, for argument's sake. So this is what I'll say. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you've probably all seen him on TV or social media, famous astrophysicist. he says a fact is a fact no matter what you believe. So if you believe if you're a government official and you believe you're helping people, you may believe that, and it may be true to you because you believe it, but that doesn't mean the facts show that, right? So if you think you're making policies that are good, but then hurting people, hurting millions of people, and people are losing their jobs, and people are losing their homes, and people are struggling to get food, people are becoming homeless, those are facts, whether you believe you're helping or not. The fact is people are suffering in these ways. So we have to understand people can be delusional. But if you've ever had an argument with a narcissist, you know this to be true. They're like, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And you're like, it literally happened 5 minutes ago. I'm not crazy because they make you feel like you're crazy. And the fact is, what the narcissist is saying didn't happen. That narcissist believes that wholeheartedly. But you know what happened. And so there's a difference between what one person believes and what the facts are of what happened. So don't ever let a narcissist do that to you. If somebody does something and 5 minutes later they say that didn't happen, get away from that person as fast as possible. All right. So who decides what is good or bad? Not me. It's all subjective. It's all based on an individual person's life path. Yep. No, it's okay that you're chatting. I like the chat. Without the chat, there'd be no live stream, right? I need the chat. Mangled's been wired since 6. Think I did my first channeling this morning too. My fingers are bewitched when I was typing. Yeah, once you get that pipeline open, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful because things start coming out of, your words start coming out and you're like, I didn't think of that. Like that didn't come in my mind as a thought. That just came through and out. Like without trying. That's how it feels to me. Like I'll just be, and sometimes you'll see me on a live, I'll say something and I'll be like, hold on, I got to make a note. I'll write it down because that was a download, because I don't want to forget it because I'm older. Memory not so good, but the downloads and the channeling feel very different. It's like, to me, and you may have a different way it feels for you, but to me, when I have a thought, it feels like the thought is processed through my mind and I'm thinking about it. And when I have a download, it's just like boom, 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 and out. It's like just comes in and out my mouth. It's crazy. It's a very different feeling. Debbie, the knowing, right? It's like claircognizance. The information's just there in your head and you don't know why. Angel said, my kid usually wakes me up. It's not pleasant. I try not to lose my cool. 3 deep breaths. And Angel, and anybody who has children, I don't have, the book is in a box somewhere. I have boxes of books that I haven't opened from when I moved across the country. Anyway, you guys know how it is when you move, some boxes never get opened. I have a book by Dr. Sabari, Tsabari. It's called The Conscious Parent. And then I think there's The Conscious Family as well. She's incredible. She uses and she's been on Oprah. She's got videos. She's stunning to look at. She's a beautiful woman, but so aware. The Conscious Parent changed me as a parent. And it's kind of like the Eckhart Tolle books, but for parenting. And it changes your whole perspective on your relationship with your kids. It's incredible. Highly, highly, highly recommend The Conscious Parent. I cannot recommend it enough. It changed who I was as a parent, and it helps you understand your parents as well. It's not like, just, if you're interested, The Conscious Parent, Dr. Shefali Sabari, incredible book, incredible. Mangold said the alternative is a personal delusion. I didn't question if what I'm doing is right or not. I know with my soul it is right to do, but I am scared. My team meeting yesterday, the mini read. I think I missed some facts in there. Oh, there's more. Okay. She said, my guides and angels are with me, and Metatron had his hand on my shoulder. That was yesterday, and the channeling was this morning. Wow. Respect our planet and animals. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Mangled Unicorn said it was a good reassurance that I needed. Yeah. So when you get, I have a student mentee, one of my annual mentees, and she's getting downloads left and right. Like, it's so interesting when sometimes our spiritual journey breaks wide open. It's like unstoppable, and it can be very overwhelming. And sometimes you need an angel to put his hand on your shoulder, right? And say, it's going to be okay. We're here. Sometimes you got to put one foot on the ground. You got to put one foot on the ground and stay grounded, because it's real easy, because this earth plane is very hard to be in. It's real easy to go do a sitting in the power or connect with spirit and be like, it is so nice in the spirit world. Everything is so lovey-dovey over there, and wonderful and warm and fuzzy. But we have to know our bodies are still in this world, and we have to stay here and deal with this three-dimensional world, because this is where we live now, and we have to go through the life lessons, unfortunately, to learn and grow our soul. So, hi, Kelly. Aunt Jen said, yeah, it's a very different feeling. It just comes through. Absolutely. I feel like it's anybody. If anybody wants to describe how their downloads feel, please describe it in the chat, because mine feels like a pipe of information comes through my head and out my mouth. It's just like, whoop, right in. When I'm thinking, it's more like, A, B, C, blah, 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 thought. And it's just kind of swirling around in my brain. It is a very different feeling. Juniper Vale, I get a physical feeling when spirit talks to me, so I have an easier time identifying it, which is very kind of them. Yeah, they call that what's the name? There's a word for it. There's a word to describe that. Where, like, sometimes you'll feel like a warm sensation on your arm, or sometimes your hands start to tingle, or you'll get like tingles in your cheeks. There's a lot of different ones, but when they're consistent, when you get a consistent physical feeling, no matter what it is, and you get the information from spirit right after that physical feeling starts, that's definitely, oh gosh, if anybody remembers the name, please tell me, because it's still early morning for my brain. But yes, that is Aunt Jen, amazing book. Yeah, The Conscious Parent. Every parent on earth should read that book. Hi, Respect Our Planet. Hi, Chaotic Neutral. Happy Sunday. Angel numbers all night as I rolled around like a rotisserie chicken. Yeah. Yeah, and there's some the astrology's been interesting this month, and the numerology's been interesting this month, because it's a 9-month, and yesterday was 9/27, which 2 + 7 is 9, and 2025 equals 9. So yesterday was a 999. So yeah. Nik, do you do readings for subscribers? Yeah, sometimes. I was going to pull some cards today. Mangled, it's like swirls mixing. Last night was images flooding through, but fast, and a few at once. But I don't think related, more just showing me, oh no, a bunch of comments just loaded. More just showing me that I knew was me in another life as a child. Fascinating. Fascinating. Juniper, I have tingles and warmth from certain sides of my body, depending upon which spirit guide it is. Wonderful. It's good to be able to tell which guide is coming through for what. My guides show me their face. I'm a very, very visual person. I'm a visual learner. Everything is very visual to me. So when my guide shows up, I'll see my main guide like in my mind's eye. And then my other guide, she shows up on this side and I can just see her hair goes over half her face. Um, and I can see them in my mind's eye when they show up. But it's different for everyone. Manx girl, I was running around yesterday, saw 3 butterflies. I lost my brother, my mom, and recently my dad. I'm so sorry, honey. My mom loved butterflies. We weren't close, but today is her birthday. Oh, happy birthday. So that is definitely a sign from your mom for sure. Sorry. I don't normally talk this much this early. Diane, very interesting conversation. I do have a question. My daughter lives in Dallas. Will she ever move back to the Kansas City area? If so, when? So I would say I don't make predictions. That I'm a medium. I do readings where I connect with loved ones in spirit. But I will say that my younger son and daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-law said, I'm never moving to Florida. I'm never moving to Florida. And then guess what? A few months ago, they moved to Florida. So I would never say never. But I don't predict exact things like that. I connect to spirit. And Jen, yes, comes right out of my mouth. And the more grounded and in my power I am, makes me even more aware that I am just a channel in the moment. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Aunt Jen will be my guest on Wednesday morning, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. We'll be introducing Aunt Jen to the world. She's an incredible healer. She was trained at the Deepak Chopra, the Chopra Center in San Diego for many years. She's an incredible friend and healer. She saved me mentally for years. And she has so much to offer the world. Excuse me. Cough attack. Okay. A lot of chatting. All right. Mangled. If I'm not seeing things when I'm feeling the other person's emotions, I'm not seeing images. But because of what she felt and knew what she was looking at, and it was weird feeling to see, I suppose. Yeah, it can be weird. Hi, Tyler. I'm doing great. How are you? Oh, thank you, Respect. She saw me on Linda G's channel and I subscribed. I appreciate that very much. My question is, will the meeting I go to tomorrow with the person I'm helping, do my guides think I have a chance of a favorable outcome? Any tips they have? I'll tell you exactly what to do. I've had some things I've been doing the past couple of months that are very important to my mediumship. And I've had some very important meetings and it can change some things for me, significant changes for me. And what I do is I prepare the day of the meeting. And I tell Spirit, listen, I have this important meeting. These are the, this could change me, my life, my future, right? For the better. And what I do is I surrender. I surrender because we can't force the outcome we want, because sometimes the outcome we want is not the outcome we need. So for me, I surrender and I say to God, the universe, spirit, whoever you communicate with and believe in, and I say, if I am supposed to follow this journey, let's say, please allow me to do a good job in this meeting. And I give more details. I'm not going to give specifics here, but in my meditation, I give more details. And I say, but I surrender to whatever outcome is supposed to happen. I surrender to whatever outcome is supposed to happen, because we can't control what is meant for us. So I would surrender and just say what you would like the outcome to be, but surrender to whatever outcome will happen. I've had, and I have a couple more of these meetings coming up, and it's very nerve-wracking, but I just meditate. I put peaceful hemi-sync music on. I talk to spirit and I'm like, whatever is supposed to happen, I surrender. Whatever is supposed to happen, I surrender. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to do my due diligence and do everything I can to have a successful outcome. But I surrender to what, happens. And the meetings I've had so far have been excellent, very good, positive meetings. But I have a couple more coming up, and I'm going to surrender for those too. So surrender, surrender, surrender. That's what I say. Kelly, half the time I don't even know if I am connecting. I want to believe that I am, but not sure. This is where we have to understand that you have to get validation from another person. So if you're connecting, if you're just doing a meditation or talking to your guides, you can ask them for a sign. I'll give you a story. When I became a medium, or when I started mediumship development classes, I didn't, those of you who know me, I'm a scientist. I never thought I was going to be a medium. It was nowhere on my radar anywhere. No, not even close. And I was in one of my classes. They were always on Saturdays. And my mentor said, okay, this week your homework is ask your guide for a sign. And I was still brand new, didn't believe in guides, didn't even know what a spirit guide was, didn't understand it, very skeptical. So I'm like, okay, I'm a good student and I will ask my guide for a sign. Didn't know who my guide was, had no clue. So I did a little meditation sitting in the power. I said, okay, guide, I want to see a snow globe. It was March. It was a Saturday in March. I'll never forget it. And so you can get a sign on social media, TV, in a conversation, on the radio, in real life, on a license plate, doesn't matter. You can get signs from anywhere. And so I asked for a snow globe in March because there's not going to be a snow globe around, but it's not impossible to see it. So I was scrolling Instagram. I saw an ad for a psychic with a snow globe. And I'm like, oh, interesting. And I blew it off. A couple hours later, I saw an ad for a psychic with a snow globe. Interesting. Now, I know our phones listen to us, and I didn't say it out loud, but sometimes I think they read our minds too. So I went the next day, And I didn't really think about it. I went the next day to a golf store with my husband. This was a Sunday. And on the counter in March was a golf snow globe. And at the checkout. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. That's weird. But wow. Okay. Okay. I'm starting to see. On Monday, I went to work and there was a place in the building I worked in that I hadn't been in before. I was new to the building. And I walked into this lady's office who'd been there for 40 years. She just had the whole office redone. And I looked to the left, and for 40 years, her students had been giving her snow globes, and there were hundreds of them. She had custom built shelves in her office with hundreds of snow globes. And I'm like, all right. And then my son and daughter-in-law bought me a snow globe, a Mars snow globe. So, and I have another snow globe somewhere in here from my other daughter-in-law. So I'm like, okay, you're there. So test them, ask them for a sign. If it's guides, ask them for a sign. If you're connecting in mediumship readings, the validation comes from the person you're giving the reading for. But I think you meant guides. Aunt Jen said, I held space and shared my tools with you, yet you saved yourself. We traveled down the healing path together. And that's a really important point. And that's what makes you such a beautiful healer, because you can give people all the tools that you want. It's like giving a mechanic tools to fix his car. Well, if he doesn't pick the tools up, the car's not going to get fixed. You have to pick up the tools and use them to fix the car. So that's a great point. Nik, do you channel pets at a pest? Yes, I do. It is not my specialty, but they come through. And especially since my youngest son has a dog now, and the dog was just here over the weekend, Friday and Saturday. And so now that dog has been in my life much more regularly, I get animals in my readings all the time now. It's interesting. It's a very interesting thing, but yes. Have I heard of Stephen Greer? Yes. Yes. Check. I have heard of Stephen Greer. I've followed him for years. And my niece, Mandy, used to use a CE5 or C5 contact app. I haven't used it, but it does make sense that you can communicate with aliens that way, because I don't make a practice of communicating with aliens for a specific reason. Not because I don't believe aliens are real, because I definitely do, but because because of my astronomy background, I know so much about different planets in the universe and so many scientific facts about it, that I feel like it would skew I feel like I could make a lot of stuff up and just say all kinds of crazy stuff and not know if it was real or not, because I don't have a way to validate it. Because I could definitely okay, I'm channeling beings from Proxima b, which is the closest Earth-like planet to us. It's 4.2 light years away. Okay. And it's orbiting Proxima Centauri. That's a star. And I could channel beings from there, because there's probably some kind of beings there, but they could have been there 1 million years ago or in 1 million years from now. But I can't get evidence to prove that what I'm channeling is correct. So I could definitely channel them, but I have no way to validate it. So I don't know if I would be making it up. And I want to make sure every communication I have, I can get validation from the person, the client. Like if I was giving you a reading, I would want to make sure you could validate that. And if you can't validate it, maybe one of your family members can. So yes, he's fascinating. Great, great, great. I'm a little behind on the comments. Thank you guys for all the comments and all the likes. Love it, love it, love it. I've always been curious, do you think psychics and or mediums could help with genealogy research, not just names necessarily? Yes, I think that there are some psychics and maybe remote viewers that could help with that. I don't know any personally that do that, but I might be able to find out if you're looking into that. But I say this all the time, get a DNA test done. And I know that who knows what they're doing with our harvested DNA, and that's a whole other story. If you don't believe in that, that's fine. But it's the most accurate way to get your research done. And you can, and the holidays are coming up, and they usually have specials for like $59 or $49. And you just take a cotton swab in your cheek. They send you a little kit. You have to follow the directions specifically, though, or it won't work. Cotton swab your cheek, put it in a little tube of liquid, shake it up, seal it up, and mail it back. It's all done for you. You just have to follow the directions. They give you the box to mail back and everything. And then in 6 weeks, you get your results. And Ancestry has a huge database of genealogy, huge database. And I think 23andMe is now, those are the two I used. I think 23andMe now is adding Ancestry to it. But Ancestry.com has a huge, huge database. So I would start with that first, because you find relatives that you're like, what? Kelly said, I am more of a brick landing on my head kind of person. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Yeah, sometimes you have to pull back and just surrender. Respect for planet. I ask for dimes and find them all the time. Yep. Debbie said, mediumship just happened to me. It wasn't on my bingo card. Yep. I know. Listen, I absolutely agree with that. I was working at a science job, and I still do that part-time. I was nowhere in the realm of possibility for me. It just happened. It just started happening. And it was nowhere. just started happening. It changed the course of my life. My life is completely different, and I could not be happier. Kelly said, so ask for the validation. Yes. Chaotic says, I've done DNA testing, but there are a few relatives that seem to disappear completely from typical records, and I wonder where they went. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I would be a little leery that far back to get a psychic or remote viewer to help with that, just because 3 and 4 ex-grandparents. So a lot of times when people came from different countries, because the United States is made of immigrants for the most part, and whether you're white or not, if you're white, you still came from immigrants. But the records get crazy the further back you go. I would definitely, if you find out the last relative you can find out what country they were in. If it was in the United States, say they were in Kansas City, Missouri, let's just say, you may be able to go there and look at the records. Like libraries have these huge genealogical libraries in them. So you may have to like do some really deep research that way. I would always follow the tangible route with that. That's my personal opinion. How can I get one from you? Like a reading? I don't remember what your other question was. Oh, so if you want a pet reading or any kind of mediumship reading, they're on my website, peacefulnikthemedium.com, which is right here. And if you want a one-on-one reading for that, you can schedule that. I have different options. I have 30-minute reading, 45-hour long readings. I am not doing any mediumship. I've got about 9 minutes before I have to be somewhere. So I'm not doing any mediumship right now, but you can book one on my website if you want a one-on-one. Sometimes I go live and do mediumship readings, but I'm not going to do that right now. I don't have enough time to prepare for it. So this weekend coming up, I'm traveling Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I won't be able to go live, but maybe I'll do something during the week before that. Good morning, Vivian. Dawn said, my sister did Ancestry and she got a few hits on cousins we have. Yeah. My dad sends me quarters and dimes. Dawn said, I'm so happy I did a 3-card pull oracle card for my son and it was right on. Yay. I'm so happy to hear that. And Jen, I was totally unaware that I was able to tap into this realm. It all makes sense to me. Yeah. Yep. Jen has taken some of my mediumship classes and she's actually a very talented medium as well. Kelly, so I'm going through cryogenics. Okay, good. Debbie said names were changed many times, not by the people. Yeah, agree. Aunt Jen, meditation is key. Respect said, okay, thank you, Vivian. I just realized last month I've been talking to my guide all my life inside my head. Yes, Vivian, Aunt Jen, same thing happened to her. Good morning, Holly. I'm glad you're here. Debbie said, one quick card. I shuffled this deck before we popped on. Debbie, one quick card. Don't forget, I have my $49 one-on-one 30-minute. That's a deal that won't be around after October. And I had to open more dates for it. So if you want a one-on-one Zoom meeting with me to pull cards and get spiritual guidance, $49. That's a steal. Book it now if you want one of those. Debbie Trapp, cleansing. So it seems like you need to clear out your mind and spirit. Clear it out. Sometimes when I'm feeling very chaotic, because I work at, we have offices or places where we work and like stuff starts to pile up and I get a little crazy in my head. I will okay, I got to stop and I got to take 20 or 30 minutes to just clean this mess up so I can think clearly. And then I'll meditate, even if it's for 30 seconds. Depending on how much time I have. Sometimes I'll meditate for 10 minutes. Just depends. Just to clear it out. Ask your guides, ask God, ask spirit, whoever. I need a cleansing. Help me clear out the gunk. We're all so gunked up. We're all so gunked up with all the crap that's bombarding us constantly. Clear it out. You need a cleansing. Clear it out. Cleanse your mind and spirit. Remove negative energy. And if you have negative people in your space, limit your interactions with them as much as possible, or put up boundaries and say, listen, I am happy to have you in my life, but we need to change the dynamic of our conversations. And that helps a lot. Debbie Shifting Veil said, I'm used to my guides. They used to be loud and vocal. I argued back once and they stopped being vocal. This mediumship is totally different. Yeah, it is. Mediumship is a very different connection than psychic. And that's psychic is, you're welcome, Debbie Trapp. Psychic is connecting to the person in front of you's aura and energy. And mediumship is connecting to loved ones in spirit. Very different, very different. Thank you, Mangled. Yes, like, share, and subscribe. If you like this kind of content, please, if you haven't already subscribed, you can also become a member of the channel. I have a bunch of members on here now, and I appreciate every membership. If you enjoy this content, if it's interesting to you, if you feel good about it, please subscribe and consider becoming a member. I do members only live streams. I am in the process of trying to organize my schedule so I can make some members only content. And it's a good deal, especially because my members only live streams, I do readings and they're a little more extensive than the ones on the regular live stream. You're welcome. You're welcome. Everyone, I'm so happy to have spent this Sunday morning with you. Thank you, everyone who was here and stuck around. There's the QR code somewhere. One of the corners has my QR code. No. I just added new ones here. Let me get the link for you. I don't know why it keeps, I don't know why, but here's the link for the $49. This is not for mediumship. The link I just posted is for spiritual guidance and card readings. The mediumship ones are all $99 for a 30-minute. But this $49 is not for mediumship. So that's a totally different thing. So if you want guidance, some people just come in and they just want to talk and get my opinions and advice on things. I'll pull cards on different things. So, and it's one-on-one and it's $49. It's an incredible deal. It will be gone when these last slots fill up because I'm only one person. I can only do so many readings a day. When these last ones I just opened up fill up, they'll be gone. And Kelly said, thank you for the fun day, Sunday fun day. Mwah. Love you, Kelly. Oh, yay. Thank you. People used to make fun of me and ask, Aunt Jen's on here and Holly's on here and they know. People used to make fun of me because I was such a nerd and I read so many books, and Aunt Jen used to make fun of me for playing math games. I would make up math games because I like math. And, but I know a lot of weird knowledge. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, everyone. I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow morning. If something goes crazy today, maybe I'll be back tonight. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be back definitely tomorrow morning for meditation, and tomorrow night with Lady Shadow, and Wednesday with Aunt Jen, 888. Please subscribe to her channel. It's totally free. Thank you, Vivian. The weirder, the better. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Look inside, shadow work. Haters gonna hate. Ain't that the comment of the day? Love it. Yes, yes, yes. And Jen, math games. Remember? All right, everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday. I'll see you tomorrow for Monday morning meditation. And if you have to watch the replay, that's fine. It'll come to you when it comes to you. Love, love, love. Mangled, sending you love and peace and energy today. Okay? Bye, everyone. Have a great day.